This is John again. Did you know that you could make quizzes in Office.com? You can use the forms in Office.com to make quizzes and have your students do them online. Here in Hillsborough, everyone has access to this. They can log in using their school district login. The students can as well, and you can have them do quizzes inside that you've created, and take those quizzes and results, and later on upload it into Edsby. Uh, Let me show you an example of a quiz I made. Functions and forms of government. This is a sample quiz that I made, and I have pictures in it. I have questions here, and what function? Take a look at this question. Look, what function of government does this picture represent? And choose all that apply. And so I can make choices here. Now, because I'm viewing this as a teacher, the answer is right there. In fact, let me change the view to preview as a student, and it looks like this to the student. So they will have the choices, and you can have them check all that apply in a question, and so forth. And then when it's all said and done, after they've done the quiz, they can submit it. And once they submit it, they can then uh, have it graded for you. All right. So that's a wonderful thing. So I'm going to show you how to do that. To create a quiz in Office, just simply go to office.com and log in with your district login. And by the way, the students can log in as well. You're going to choose Forms, go to Forms and choose New Quiz. When you choose New Quiz, it's very easy. Just click on the title here and give it a title. How to make quizzes quiz, whatever. So you can also add a picture. Let's say we click on this icon here, choose an image. I love this that it allows you to look for an image in Bing. So if you type in apples, I'm going to use apples just because we're teachers and you guys are staying healthy. And when I choose that, I can choose any picture in my list. I can also upload something from my OneDrive, a picture, or upload it directly from my computer. When I click add, it's going to put it there and it's going to look so professional. You can give a description of what the quiz is, and you give instructions here, um, showing an example of making quiz. Okay, so when we do that, you're going to go to add new. You can add questions here or even a new section, but we're not going to worry about section right now. If you want to make a multiple choice question, just click on choice and what, let's give it a weird name, question, what color is the sky? And you can actually, again, choose a picture for that particular moment or video for that particular question. I'm not going to do that now to save us time. Well, let me do it so you can see. Let's look at sky. So my last choice was already there. Let's type in sky, and looks beautiful. Guys, can't wait to see more of that. So we're going to add the picture of the sky, and you can control if it's a big picture or a small picture. You can edit that picture as well. And so it's giving you suggestions, but I'm not going to use those suggestions. I'm just going to type in my own purple rain, purple rain. Yeah, I know you didn't come here to hear me sing red. You can add some other suggestions, selections as well. Let me go back here and add more options. And let's go ahead and put blue. That will be the answer. So since that's the answer, I'm going to put a check mark there, and it knows that's the correct answer. And I'm going to go to the next one. Now, you may have to shrink your screen. I have problems when I have a long list of things here, and I'm scrolling down. So you may want to shrink your screen in order to fit it all in there. So you see the choice. You can also choose text. When it comes to text, you can type in students and uh, what period do you have me? What period do you have civics? This is something that you may want to do if you want to try to separate which students are which, because later on you can export their answers, and when you export their answers, you may want to identify which period they're in. This is something I should have done at the beginning, but I forgot. But it is what it is. With the short answers, you can give potential answers, like it says here. I can give an answer, but remember, if you give an answer, suggest an answer, they have to type it exactly the way you put it inside the answer spot. So you're going to want to give several different answers. Or if you want to, you can just simply use that answer. They can just free answer it and type it in, and you go back and read the answers. You could make a long answer. If you want to click this button, it'll give them the opportunity to write a long answer. And also something I forgot to show on the other question is you can make this required. Each question can be changed to being required or not required. Okay, so that's something that is beautiful and you're going to want to do, and make sure that you're. There's also a drop-down menu right here that will allow you to give a subtitle to that question or place restrictions on it. And there's a math button. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never used the math button because I don't teach math. But for the math teachers, you can go into that and see what that's about, because I think there's some special things for math in there for you. So let's go to the next type of question. You can do rankings, ratings, rankings, and ask a question. Am I good? Am I a good teacher? And stop talking about me. I'm trying to make this easy. I know I'm typing all crazy. In any case, you could give different levels all the way up to 10 or 9, it seems. And then also change it to numbers or leave it as stars. And you can make it required or not required. Notice how it remained required. It's going to automatically do that on that setting. If I go to the next question, it's not going to have required there. You can ask them for the date. With this drop-down menu, they've added some new things as well. With rankings, I said ranking before, but I should have said rate. But with ranking, you can have them ask a question and rank these following, and they can move the questions up and down. You know, civics, math, science. All right, so you can have them rank things, and later on they can pull them up and down. We'll go back to that in a second when we see more selections, when we see the example of a test. They added something new that I have not used before, but it is really cool to see this button, file upload. And I'm going to assume that if you press on this, that the students can upload files, which is really neat. That's something that was not there. It's new, it's brand new. So that's going to be really good. You can play with that yourself and find out how that's going to work. In any case, those are examples of how the questions may look. I want to add another picture over here to this one. And if you want to make changes, you can make changes to your questions by just simply clicking on the question. Let's go back to image, and I'm going to put school here just to put an image. I want to show you that you can easily add and edit. Okay, that's no school like I've ever seen before. But in any case, let me add that just to make it pretty, just to make it nice. Okay. One last thing before we see the preview. This button, this theme button, this is also going to make it look awesome. You can click on the theme button, and there are lots of themes here. It's going to change the background of the. I like this is cool. It's going to change the background of the quiz. See how that changed? Isn't that cool? So when the kids see it, it's going to be based upon whatever theme you give it. All right, so let's preview this and see. And by the way, as you're working on this, it's saving things automatically. So now this is probably not the best color, but how to make quizzes. And so you show an example. You see how I added my information there, and it tells them what's required and what's not. You see the example of the sky blue and so forth. You also got your open box that they can answer questions in. They can rate things, not rank things, but rate things. And they can also rank. Now look at that. Isn't that crazy? Why is science on top? I love science. It's a beautiful thing. But let's go ahead and put civics up here because that obviously is the number one. Okay, see how I dragged that? Or they can use the arrows, put science back on top. All right, great. Okay, great. So you see an example of this, and they can upload files. Very good, very good. And then at the end, the kids can submit it. Another thing I want you to notice is notice how it says computer or mobile. You can view this as computer or mobile, and this is how it looks on the mobile device. The students can choose whether they're using a mobile device or a computer. And I think that is all excellent. It's very good stuff. Now I'm going to show you what the results can look like. I'm going to show you actual quiz that my students did. I had 115 responses from this particular quiz, functions and forms of government quiz. And I'm going to click on this. When I click on this, and I may have to refresh it because I was just testing it out and it didn't give me everything I wanted. Um, there we go. Okay. Click on responses. Look over here. It says responses, 115 responses. So you click on responses, and it's going to give you a report that is really cool. Tells you how many responses. Tells you the average response, uh, the average score. It tells you whether it's closed or not. It's closed because I closed it. And so look at based upon their periods, how they answer. It gave me how they answered by period because I asked the question. Okay, so it has all the different information about each question, how well they did, how well they performed. Okay, let's go back up. This part right here where it says open in Excel. Now, this is my best friend because when I click on open in Excel, and I'm not going to do that because I don't want students' names to be popping up. If I click on open in Excel, it's going to have the breakdown by student, by question, by how many they got right, which ones. It tells you everything, okay? And later on, if you know how to upload your import rather an assignment into ESB that you've graded, it'll do it for you. You can upload it into ESB and have your answers right there automatically in your gradebook. So that is, I think, is very useful. Now, before you can, this is the end result, but I want before they can do the assignment, the students, I have to show you how to share it. And it's very easy to show you how to share it. That's the last step, and we'll be all good. Okay, so in order for me to show you how to set things up, the final settings, and also share, I'm back at the video that I just created. Oh, excuse me, not video, but the quiz that I just created. Okay, so look at these three little dots here. Click on that. It's going to give you a drop-down menu, so you can control the settings. So when you click on settings, notice how this is the things here. Option for quiz, show results automatically. You can choose not to show them their score when they finish. I think it's nice to show them their score. Although they get some immediate feedback. Who can fill out this form? You can choose who can fill it out. You can record their name or choose not to. If you since you're doing it as a quiz, I would suggest you leave that checked. Anyone with a link can respond. Now, that would be people who are outside of our. Never mind. I forgot the district turned that feature off, so that's a non-issue. But it's only going to be for people in our district that can see your form, your quiz. This is the fun place where you can control when to show it, when it starts, when kids can access it, and when they can't access it. Now, remember, be careful with the open and close. That is an easy way to get folks confused if you put the wrong time or if you forget. So if you have a start date, they're not going to have access to this until the start date happens, and it'll be open unless you put an end date, and so you can have it sandwiched within that time period. You can shuffle the questions. I like that. It's pretty good stuff. Or all the questions or a lot of the questions in the order they're in. You can customize a thank you. I like this as well. You can also give them a little note saying, uh, "Happy failing, happy failing, great job." Yeah, I have a sixth sense of humor. In any case, you want to put something there so they can actually know that they have finished and they're done. So, which is really good, I think. The email notifications, I don't think that would be useful to us because their emails are not hooked up to this system directly. So then we're going to go to share. They can't do it unless you share it. So when you click on share, you're going to have this link come up, And this is the best way to use it. Just click on copy link and post that link within Esby, or you can use an Esby message blast to send out to all your teachers, to all your students and parents. And if you're doing Esby messages, I would suggest you do them that you include the parent as well, since the parents are backing you up on this, okay? And just press the link and send it to them. So hopefully this makes sense. If you have any questions, Jonathan Watson on ideas, just go ahead and email me if you have any questions, and hopefully this is very useful. All right, take it easy.